We are side by side. I'm live. All right, did you see me come up yet? And then when it showed me, um, me Nicole the last time, Nikki the last time, it just said add her in as a friend. You see me? Okay, there you go. Bring you on camera. Add.
There we go.
There we go.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
So now we can just we on there, girl.
Okay.
Are we echoing?
Yeah, we are. Do we need to like get away from each other?
Probably so. You want?
Okay, I can move over. Oh, girl, I sat my naked thighs on this hot bench. Yeah, woo, child. That ain't God. That is not the God that I know. That thing done burnt me up. My lip gloss and everything about to melt in here, girl.
See, that's why I put on a long skirt.
And you know everything I got short. Okay, so
Where are we? We're at Living Mill Library. We about to start this good old conversation up. Did we put a how we add a conversation to this? Or do we have to do it afterwards?
what you mean add a conversation?
What we gonna be talking about?
Oh, right. We might have to do that on the back end. We gonna figure this thing out.
Yes, we together. She's sitting over there. I'm sitting over here because we about to get this conversation popping.
Yeah, we had to back up from each other because we were echoing, and so.
So tag your friends. Y'all don't want to miss this one. We talking about overstepping boundaries today, guys.
All right. So this is Candid Combos with T
And honey.
All right, y'all. So y'all know what it is with us. We're gonna let y'all know a little bit about ourselves until you used to seeing us out here. I'll start since I'm already running my mouth. I have a business called Lucid XO where I sell the Promise of God bracelets. And can you see that? Because I can't see. There you go. You see that globe on there? So basically what it is, it's just a reminder for you that the presence of God is always with you and that his promises he has promises for you that shall be fulfilled in your life. You can cop the bracelet at lucidxo.com. Also, I have encouraging messages on YouTube, and my channel is Read the Bible Ministries. Also,
Don't forget the kids.
I have two daughters. Their business is Pretty Brains. Y'all look out for this. These girls is about to take. They have a business shower coming in August. I'm gonna let you all guys know, but their name is Pretty Brains with the G at the end. Their products are for teeth. They sell lip gloss.
We can't hear
Can
you.
you hear me? So one Pretty Brains is calling me, but
So start over with the girls because we
Okay.
couldn't hear what you were saying.
Okay, so my daughters, they have a company called Pretty Brains with a Z, and they sell lip gloss, lip scrub, t-shirts, and cell phone cases. So you can go to their website at prettybrains.com. Again, that's brains with a Z at the end, and get those things. But they're having a business shower in August, so hopefully you guys will come out and support them at their business shower. They have received like recipient award of some services for being young entrepreneurs. They're going to be at the Children's Museum doing a pop-up in July. They're going to be at the Diamond doing a pop-up in July. Like, we'll keep you posted. Come and see us. But again, I'm lucidxo.com for the Presence and Promise of God bracelet. I also have a book on Amazon called The Night My Sister Was God. It's a great book. It has my personality in it. You love me. You can get the book from Amazon. My name is Tion Patterson. But the name of the book, if you just look it up, The Night My Sister Was God, it's a true story. So let the title alone is a true story. I did not make up anything out. And that's my spiel.
Okay, so I'm Honey. I'm Hunni Bee with Hunni Bee Treats. I sell deliciousness in a jar, a cupcake, chocolate covered, whatever you want. I even got the special treats for the special people, and y'all know what I'm talking about, so I ain't got to put it all out there. But you know, you can just hit me up anytime. Pretty sure you sent to her to stop calling me because I'm live. So anyway, I sell all kinds of deliciousness. You can find me on Instagram at Honeybee Treats underscore Co. You can also find me on Facebook at Honeybee Treats and Co. We also have an ordering site which we use Square, so you can order through honey-b-co-llc.square.site. Again, that's honey-b-co-llc.square.site, and you can place your order through there. You can also order any custom items as well. We will be at the Chester Farmers Market this Saturday from 9 to 1. So if you in the area and you want some good treats from a local pastry chef, not just a baker, but a pastry chef, you can come find us out there. And no, that's not a dig to anybody who's not a pastry chef, because you get your money how you get it. We're just talking about Honeybee. We're not talking about you. So don't get offended. Don't take offense to what I'm saying, because I'm not talking about you. We're just talking about Honeybee and what she does over here, okay? We all love you all the same.
All right. So, hey, guys, so we want you to do us a favor. We have a site on Facebook. It's called Candid Convos with Tea and Honey.
Yes,
Tee and Honey Hunni. And so we
yes.
want you to go over there, like and share the page. And what we want you to do when you get to that page, we need some theme music, y'all.
We need theme music because we're going to have some juicy conversations. We're going to talk about all the things that you dare not to say that you was probably thinking. We know we got a lot of church followers, so we might step on some church people's toes, but you know, it's all with love. You know, we're going to talk about business. We're going to encourage our kids. We encourage kids to start businesses. So we also have children that have businesses as well. T has already shared with you her children, their business, and we have businesses. So we about here. We're about the game. We're about all the reindeer games, okay? And we here to talk about it.
Oh, also, real quick, like if you know somebody who's a CDL driver, please hit me up in my inbox. I'm like hiring immediately. So yeah, so get us a theme song. Like we want a song that represents the sugar and the spice. Who the spice? Who the sugar? So I'll be sugar.
I'm the spice because I'm honey. I got all the spice. I got the tea. She the spicy tea, and I'm the sugar.
Okay, so I gotta get it. We got a good cop, bad cop. Who's on first?
I, I'm a start. I'm the good cop. It depends on who you talking to. My brother on here, he might say that I'm the bad cop. But who knows? I'm always the good cop.
Help today, y'all. So we got an interesting topic today. Honey Bee brought this topic up, and I was like, "Girl, where do we go from here?" The
Yes,
topic
ma'am.
is overstepping boundaries.
Overstepping boundaries. So
Woo.
I'm gonna give y'all the scenario. Okay. So it was brought to my attention from a person. We were having a conversation, and we're not dropping names, so y'all not gonna never know who we're
She
talking
ain't
about.
dropping
Just
names, but
know
you might hear a name from me. So if you did me some kind of way, I'm sorry, but you might hear your name back on here, y'all.
I'm not gonna drop no
I
names.
told her to remind me not to drop names, but it ain't no guarantee with me. So I'm just disclaimer. Sorry.
So we had this person. you know, has a it's a co-parenting situation. It's a co-parenting situation, and one of the co-parents are married to someone else. So the child, the one of the co-parents was going to open up the child a bank account, but the other co-parent in the situation, spouse, took it upon themselves to open up this child a bank account. So the other parent was like, "Well, did you know?" They said they asked the child, did that spouse know that they were going to open up their bank account for them? And they said, yeah, they knew. Child, when is overstepping boundaries too much?
Lord Jesus, you want to get into that?
We need to get into that because I feel like it's going to help some people out on this live today. It's going to help me out. It might tell me some things,
Man,
which I think
is it depends on your relationship with a person, right? So
right.
every person's relationship has different boundaries. Like with me and Hunni Bee, I can say certain things to her and talk to her in a way where I don't have to filter myself. I don't have to, consider her feelings. Not that I don't consider my friends' feelings or people's feelings, but I don't have to think about if I say it or how I say it or what I'm saying, if it's going
Right.
to be a detriment to her mentally and emotional stability. Her mental
Right.
and emotional stability. I can just kick it with her. But there are
Right.
some relationships you have that are real relationships where you're in a real loving situation, but you know that that person cannot handle a certain way with you. So you
Right.
have to know which you have to know where you like. I'll give you an example because remember I told you I'm not going to drop no names, but this is about me.
I'm gonna try to remind her not to drop no names.
So let me tell you how I had to learn about boundaries. Because I'm friends with her. We don't have boundaries. Okay?
Right.
We're going to be in the bathroom together. And I'm going to take a shower. Like, we don't have boundaries. But I had another friend that she's a real friend, but I overstepped my boundaries with her. Let's just keep it funky. I overstepped my boundaries with her because I didn't realize that these were boundaries here, but I had to learn to discern. So what happened was the friend had a child who was going through some self-esteem issues, right? And she confided that in me. And then the same conversation, she confided in me that she wanted to have a baby with her husband. And her and her husband were like have been beefing for like over a decade, right? So you're thinking, why would you bring a baby into a situation where you're beefing with your spouse for over a decade? Like the baby's not gonna help. But so this is how I overstepped my boundary because even though this was my friend for a decade, what I said to my friend was, why have a baby knowing the situation when you could just the love that you want to give to a baby, give to the child that's already suffering from self-esteem. And the
Right.
friend was like, she told me straight up that I had overstepped my boundaries. And I didn't understand why, because if we're friends sometimes have to prod and push and pull each other, encourage one another, or discourage one another from certain situations. And I thought that it was okay for me to like let her know, like, no, I wasn't trying to be malicious or facetious. I was just,
Right.
that was my friend. I felt for her, and I just wanted to present her with something different. But she's like, you overstepped your boundaries. I'm like, how?
Right.
How I overstepped my boundaries is because the imaginary boundary we had was that I'm supposed to protect her even when I'm like encouraging or discouraging something, even when I'm telling her something good or telling her something she might not want to hear. I'm supposed to protect her feelings when I do it. So with Hunni Bee, I still protect her. She knows that I'm protecting her feelings, even when I'm talking to her a certain
Right.
way. So our imaginary boundary line is different. This friend, even though we've been friends for 10 years, when you have certain things going on, sometimes
Mhm.
you don't realize that, everything is not an out and out attack. And so you have to base your boundary line on different people's personalities in your relationship. And I should have never said that to my friend. I should have been more
Right.
sensitive to the fact that one, she was in a situation with her spouse. 2, she's in a situation with herself. And 3, she was in a situation with her child. I should not have done that to her. I was wrong for that. And I had to humble myself to realize that, you know, and gratefully the friend had forgiven me, but I learned where imaginary boundaries start and stop with some people.
Right. And so you have to know from the start how raw you can be with certain people, because some people are more sensitive than others. So I might perceive I might perceive a conversation that T and I have a different way versus if I had this conversation with somebody else. I may not can be not saying that I'm not my true authentic self when I'm
Right.
talking to somebody else,
Right.
but I may not can give them the rawness
Right.
of the situation.
Right.
I may have to excuse me, guys.
Drink your water.
Let me drink some of this water.
Girl, ain't nothing wrong with a little sippy sip now. Got my drinky drink.
It ain't wine yet.
That's water. That ain't no drinky drink.
It ain't a drinky drink. It's some wine. I mean, it ain't wine yet. Catch me at 5:30, 6 o'clock. But but you know, you cannot just say what you want to say, especially if you don't have that relationship with that person. You may have to be a little bit more gentle when your delivery, form the statement in a question form in order for them to receive it. It's different ways. But if you don't have a relationship at all, if you have a love-hate relationship with somebody, you need to tread lightly across the board, because when it comes back to that other person, they're gonna take it as you're being messy, as you're overstepping, and you're not being authentic. You're deliberately trying to do something to hurt the other person. And so we have to be careful when we're doing things like that, because you don't want to, even if that's not your intention,
Right.
but that's how it came off.
Right.
So, and we have to be careful when we're doing things like that.
Yeah. So now going back to the scenario with the person whose spouse opened up the other person's child a bank account. Let's talk about it, because it's not based on situation. Because we want y'all, when you leave here, to be able to use certain situations to begin to like help you to grow and mature and things of that nature. So it's not necessarily the situation, but what it is showing that somebody somewhere doesn't have trust. So what happens? So imaginary boundaries are your trust levels. That's how you can tell your boundary with someone is. How much do they trust you, and how much do you trust them? That's your
Right.
imaginary boundary line. So in this situation, when the other parent, when the step parent found out that the original parent was going to open a bank account for the child, and they stepped in it, and they crossed the imaginary boundary line, because the trust level between the parent and the step parent is not to the degree where I know you just did it because you were trying to help me, but I know you did it because you feel some type of way about me. You either don't want me to know what my child has in their bank account. You just don't want me to be privy to certain information because you don't trust me. But I also don't trust you because I know you'll do things against me. So that imaginary boundary was crossed.
Right.
A boundary is. It's a line of trust that you gauge between how much you trust them and how much they trust you.
Right. And when you don't have that relationship with somebody, you wanna move a little differently. You don't want to just do what you want to do and how you want to do it, because you have to take in consideration somebody else's feelings.
Yes.
Now, how you may feel about that other parent doesn't have nothing to do with that other parent. Those are your heart issues that you have to deal with.
Right.
You cannot put those feelings, those thought processes
Right.
onto that other person.
Right.
You have to own up to that, and you need to deal with that internally. The other parent has moved on.
Right.
They're not thinking about your situation, but you're constantly thinking about their situation.
Yeah.
So you're constantly want to be facetious in the matter. You want to do things intentionally that's gonna cause havoc or try to cause havoc. But you don't realize that could bring out something in that person that makes them retaliate.
Right.
And so we're in a time, we're in a season that we don't want to cause unnecessary havoc when we don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah. It keeps contention going. And this is
Right.
good because what it's showing is that if you're not sure of if you're crossing a boundary because you don't know how much they trust you and how much you trust them, because you may think someone has a trust level for you that they just do not have.
Right.
Okay, but that's another topic. But so if you aren't sure, have right motive. Let's just start with a right motive. A right
Right.
motive will help with you crossing boundaries, because if you're setting out to do harm to somebody, then you're crossing boundaries because you want to cross a boundary. But I'm talking about, like, if you don't realize maybe you're crossing a boundary,
Right.
and now you're watching this video and you're saying, well, maybe I might be in some situations where I might have crossed the boundary, or I might be about to. Stop and consider. If you have to think about it, how it's going to make the other person feel, and you may not think about it, but if you do it and they say something to you about how it makes them feel, check yourself and make necessary adjustments in the way you uh, interact with other people and things of that nature, so that from now on you will not cross boundaries. And if you are sincere, because
Right.
you might cross the boundary that didn't realize, like how I did it to my friend, right? But if you are sincere and the person doesn't cut you off, they probably won't cut you off if you come back and humble yourself. But if you
Right.
aren't sincere in it and they received it that way, then that relationship will be severed. And is that a relationship you want severed? Well, then you cross the boundary on purpose anyway. But if you accidentally cross that trust line boundary, then you want to humble yourself and, that's my bad. I didn't realize that, okay? And now from now on, like she said, you be your authentic self, but you pay attention to people and you make sure that you're caring for other people's hearts.
Right. So, in other words, if I'm having a conversation, right, and you can tell by people's facial expressions if they are not feeling what you're saying, or if they're taking or they're receiving it the wrong way, you can gauge it by their facial expressions. People's facial expressions tell a lot. Their body posture
Language.
tells you a lot. And so, if their body posture has changed, if their facial expression has changed, you know that they're not receiving. Especially if you're being authentic and you're not trying to overstep a boundary, if you're being authentic in the conversation and you're not being malicious in the situation, you can gauge by their posture, their facial expression, their tone when they're talking to you. You can gauge those things and see, okay, well, maybe I need to step back. Maybe I need to come at this a different angle and then restate what I'm saying, because I'm not trying to cause harm. I'm just trying to say this XYZ.
Right.
I'm Maybe I should have put it this way. Maybe I need to reword what I'm saying, because again, like we said in a previous video, that we need to drop that people wear their feelings on their sleeve. So maybe they're wearing their feelings on their sleeve and they can't handle that rawness in that conversation that you're giving them.
Right.
So sometimes we just got to be mindful. We got to think about the other person when we're talking to them.
Right.
And if you have that relationship, like I can say whatever I want to say to T, and she not gonna take it no type of way. And she probably be like, girl, we might get off the phone for a few minutes and then we'll be like, oh, okay, whatever. And then we come back and we reconvene again. But it's no hard feelings, because we done had to say some real true things to to each other, and we had to receive it, and it was not to be malicious or harmful.
But our
See?
boundary line, our trust line, we knew that we were caring for one another's hearts.
Right,
That makes a big
right.
difference.
That
So
does make a big difference.
so we're talking to the sincere people who cross the boundaries. But Hunni Bee, what about the people who are crossing boundaries intentionally?
Intentionally. See, that
Is it Kirk out time? Like, when is Kirk out time?
I be trying not to kirk out. I be trying not to let people see that side of me. I be trying to be like,
When is Kirk out time? Listen,
it's stages to a thing. It stages to a thing. How much of this boundary have you crossed? And what part of me do you want to see
Right. How many times
when
you
you're
got
doing it
right
intentionally?
intentionally? So I'm so to the intentional people, what is inside of you? Because she said it's an inside thing on the inside of you. What's inside of you that wants
Right,
to harm someone? What is
right,
inside of you that wants to keep chaos and confusion in your life? Why
right,
are you setting out, crossing these boundaries with the intent to harm? What is going on with you? Because your intent to harm doesn't have, you're not trying to harm me because of me. You're trying to
right.
harm me because of you. So
You.
what is going on the inside of you? I'm talking to those who are intentionally crossing boundaries with other people. What is
Right,
making you do things like that? Okay? I need you to get up, go look in the mirror, look into your own eyes. Don't just look at yourself. Everybody got full length mirrors. They want to see how they look in the mirror. They checking their booty to see if they panty line. You checking your bra to make sure you can't see the lines or it's high enough, and you checking your hair. But check your spirit, check your
check your
soul.
spirit.
Go to the mirror, look yourself in the eye, and
Right,
begin to speak to yourself about what you see, who you are, and who you want to be, and begin to
right,
move from there. But
right.
you cannot keep overstepping boundaries and
Overstepping your
don't
boundaries.
think that somebody gonna put a guard up on you.
It's a cause and reaction to everything.
Okay.
So if you keep on causing different things, a reaction is bound to come.
Right.
Whether it's good or bad,
Right.
there's consequences to everything we do,
Yes.
whether it's good or bad.
Yes.
And so if you keep on reacting,
Yes.
you're causing a reaction
Yep.
when you're overstepping your boundaries
Yep.
intentionally.
Yeah.
And so what kind of reaction do you want to cause
Right.
from somebody when you're doing it intentionally?
Right. Because you gonna get the right person to kirk out on you, and they're gonna go past
Right,
Kirk. So they got the Kirk out where you Kirk Franklin out, where Kirk got so mad he cursed his son out, right? Then you got the
right,
Kirk out where you take it to another level, right? The out of space Captain Kirk. So
right.
the Kirk out, somebody might curse you out, but the other Kirk out, take it to another level. Somebody might black your eye. I mean, let's be real.
Hell, hey, you might, it depends on what day of the week it is. You might get somebody to burn the whole house down with themselves in it, because somebody has told us that. Somebody shared with us that they will burn the whole house down with
With
themselves in it.
themselves in it.
Now that's not me. I might burn the house down with you in it, your dog in it, and everything else around it. That's just where I'm at with the situation. But you got to be mindful when you're intentionally overstepping your boundaries with people, because you never know what type of mental place that
There you
person is
go.
in.
That's what I wanted to get into. Yes, ma'am. Because let's talk about it. Look at the news. You're
Right,
seeing people who have had their boundaries crossed over and over again. When people are shooting up supermarkets, when kids are shooting up schools, people are overstepping their boundaries intentionally towards them over and over again, and there's a consequence. And that was good. So I want you to talk about the consequences when they're good and bad. Like, encourage somebody in that about how consequences work.
so let me explain to y'all like I explained to my kids. If you are It's good in consequences in everything you do. So if I'm out here and I'm being busy, but I'm being busy by focusing on my business, by focusing on what's going to be my next move, it's going to be good consequences that come behind that, because I'm putting my foot to the plow. I'm being busy in what I need to be busy in, right? I'm not causing I'm not causing confusion in somebody else's house. I'm not causing confusion in somebody else's life, because I don't have time for that. I'm focused on what I need to do. So good consequences are going to come from that. If I'm out here and if I'm sowing it to someone else, if I'm being a blessing to somebody else, good consequences come from that, right? But if I'm out here wilding out and I'm out here intentionally being malicious to someone, then those consequences are bad. And their mental health doesn't always align up to what you think. You don't know if somebody's like, today is the end of my rope, I'm going to strangle you,
Or strangle
or
themselves, honey
or
bee.
strangle themselves. or you don't know if you're causing somebody to say, hey, I can't take life no more. I'm going to take my own life because I can't take life no more. You just don't know what you doing intentionally by intentionally being malicious to somebody. You don't know what you're doing, what you're causing to somebody else. And I know, you think, oh, I'm grown. I can say what I want to say. I can move how I want to move. That is true. You absolutely can. But just keep in mind that it is consequences behind everything we
But
do.
why? Why is it that's the way you want to move? Why do
Right.
you want to be nasty? Why do
Right.
you want confusion? Why do you want chaos? I'm asking you, what is in you that you are more apt to negativity than positive? What's going
Right.
on with you with that's what you desire? Yeah, you are grown, but why do you want to behave like that as a grown
Right.
woman?
Right. And then the other thing is, why are you so bitter? Why are you so bitter in the inside? And we're not gonna tell nobody who they should worship or nothing like that. So we're not gonna really do that here. But if you believe in God, seek God's help. If you believe in a higher being, seek the higher being's help. But just to let you know, the higher being is God. So I just had to put that out there.
Point to the blank.
We just we gotta call a spade a spade. The higher being is God. But whatever you want to call it, whatever floats your boat, you need to seek that help to see what it is inside of you that have so much turmoil inside of you that you want to cause turmoil in somebody else's life.
Right. That's right. Just keep it funky. That's right. That's all it is. That's all we wanted to do today. We wanted to talk to you about overstepping boundaries. We're trying to get you from bitter to better. Isn't that a song by Jessica Reedy? Is that Jessica Reedy? Life doesn't have to be bitter. It can be better. You can be better. Like whatever you do. I put a Facebook post up on my post, Tion Patterson. It says, you can choose to do things differently right now.
Right.
Whatever happened in the past, start from right now. And don't live in the past. Because what the past would do is make you a bitter person. Because everything you do will come from the past. But why do you care about the past instead of worrying about, I'm not even worrying about the future, for real, your present.
Today.
Because if you're talking to your future, you're going to get too worrisome and encumber someone that as well.
Exactly. But let me tell y'all a secret. Y'all want to know a secret?
What?
Forgiveness isn't for the other person. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. When you forgive, when somebody wrong you, when you forgive them, and I'm talking about truly forgive
right,
them,
not
say,
I'm saying it.
Not say I forgive you,
right.
But no, truly forgive them in your heart of heart, and find it down in your soul to forgive the other person. You're freeing yourself.
Yeah.
You're freeing yourself.
Yeah. You are.
And you'll feel better inside. Try it.
It sounds cliche, but it is so true. Truly, and you'll know you forgive when you see them and it don't cause that past pain to rise up in you. You know how that past pain, even as you are slowly dealing with it and healing from it, you know, the pain will be up to your throat. You ready to say something to them. It'll start to subside until you just like feel it here, so you don't feel it no more. So work on yourself to get to that level. But to work on yourself, you got to first see yourself. So get up, look in the mirror, look into your own eyes, and tell yourself what kind of person do you desire to be today. Start with just the day.
Absolutely. But we're not going to hold you guys any longer. We have more conversations to come. Please like, share, follow. We are going to link all of our information below or above. Wherever it's going to show. It's going to be there. It's going to be there, I promise you. We're going to do more conversations like that. If it's a conversation, if it's a topic that you would like us to discuss, please comment that as well. We're for the shenanigans, and we're here to address all kinds of topics. Not just bad ones, but good ones. We're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about businesses. So anything that you desire to hear from us, because we're here to keep it funky. We're not going to sugarcoat nothing for you.
No doubt.
Okay? So please share, like, comment, and come back to holler at us again. We'll be back again. probably this week. If not this week, next week. But we'll definitely be back. And thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.